Bean Games!
Well, welcome back, everybody. It's good to have you here on Bean Games. The roar of that truck never ceases to let me know that it's going to be a good day. Anyway, we're back. It's Euro Truck Simulator 2. I'm very excited to get back out there on the roads today, see what kind of adventures we can have. Let's jump right in and see where we left off. We're doing better here as far as safe driving goes, for sure. We had no major crashes last episode. A couple of minor fender benders, a few speeding tickets. Got to use that cruise control. That's very important to stay on top of, no doubt. But yeah, overall we're doing pretty good. So we're gonna jump right in with driving here and see, first of all, what city we're in, and then what kind of freight depots we've got nearby to pick up a job. Free as the wind. Don't you love it? That's the way we all should be. Free as the wind, with the wind in our hair. It's a good way to be. We've got a very exciting special guest today. If you recall a couple episodes back, I mentioned I was hoping to have some special guest callers on. Well, we've got our first one this week. And so here, even before we pick up our first freight job, I'm going to see if I can get him on the line. Bear with me here, and let's see if we can get our first caller on. Is that you, Carrie Nelson? Do we have you on the line?
I'm on the line, and you're about to get my two dogs on the line also.
Hey, look at that. I promised you guys one special call-in guest, and we may actually have three. Only one of them will still be human, but still, that's three for the price of one. That's not bad. I appreciate you giving us a bargain here as
Luna, come here. Don't bark. Come here, Luna.
As a long-distance trucker, I'm always looking for a bargain, be it on freight or special guests. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, bud. This is monumental right here. It's been fun to drive the roads alone, but I'm looking forward to driving the roads with some company. I think that's going to be a good time for everybody involved.
Well, I wish. Where are you?
Right now, that's a great question. Right now, I am in the great city of Carlisle. At the end of last episode, you may recall, we took the ferry from the Netherlands. Very, very exciting. We took our first transoceanic. Is that the word I'm looking for? We crossed water. I mean, very big deal. So we're in Carlisle in Great Britain, and we're going to be doing a little driving around at least the United Kingdom. We might get back to Belgium. It just depends on where the freight takes us. But first things first, before we get into any major discussions, Carrie, you got to help me decide, because right now I've got three options for freight. All right, so I can take 20 tons of apples from Carlisle down to Groningen in the Netherlands. That would take me right back across the ferry.
You can fit 20 tons of apples into your truck?
Yeah, man. This is not amateur truck driving, all right? This is the big leagues. This is professional. We're talking tons upon tons of apples. There's definitely a trend that we've had here of taking lots of food deliveries, and I'm fine with keeping that going. But that's option number one. Option number two is 16 tons of tires from Carlisle to Rotterdam. That would also, well, all three of these deliveries are going to take us back across the ferry. That's fine. So we can take 20 tons of apples, we can take 16 tons of tires.
How many tons of babies?
Yeah, so many tons of babies. Or 18 tons of pork.
Pork?
Pork, yeah, like pigs that have been turned into pork.
Oh, pork. I thought you said cork, like the stuff that floats, and I thought that would be more than a truck full, definitely.
Well, cork. If I took the cork, I wouldn't actually have to take the ferry. I could just like bob across on the surface of the water across. So that might actually be easier that way. But yeah, what's it going to be? You get to make this call: apples, tires, or pork.
So you've been doing mostly food, right?
Lot of food, yeah, not exclusively.
Oh, wow, you got to do the tires then.
Yeah, that I was leaning towards that myself. So that's the job we're going to take. So fantastic. So now I get
Do you get fresh tires from this job? Did they pay you in tires?
Not that I know of. I think it was last episode or a couple episodes ago. I actually had to go and buy myself new tires. So from what I have been able to tell, I have not gotten any. I've not been able to. Yeah, kind of sneak off with an extra crate of any of the hauls that I'm taking. I would love for that to be a feature in the game. Maybe it's one at an advanced level. I get to take a perk in like cargo lifting. But
like stealing your own cargo.
I would call it lifting. I wouldn't call it stealing. It's kind of like a tax, a delivery tax.
A little bit of a tariff.
Yeah, I think that is perhaps one of the reasons why I have been taking so many food deliveries, is that I have really been into this snack box that I bought for my truck that's sitting here inside the truck cab next to me, and I think I kind of assume that every time I take food, like if I take a cargo of apples, then I take one apple out and I put it into my snack box.
20 tons of apples for you, 1 ton of apples for me.
20 tons. How many? I want your best guess here. How many apples? How many individual apples would it take to make 20 tons of apples?
I really think it's more than fits in a truck, but obviously I'm wrong because I know that this is a simulator, not a fantasy game.
Oh, I mean, this is as true. This is so true to life. I just had a very startled moment because I remembered that I'm in Great Britain, and so I have to drive on the left side of the road. And
Did you get on the wrong side of the road?
No, but I almost did. It was close. I was pulling out, and I thought I could.
You have to drive safely. That's why I'm on the phone. You have to drive safely.
I'm using my blinker. I've got a green light here. Getting out of the cities is the this is bad. Oh, okay. I didn't hit anyone, but I came real close because again I tried real hard to turn into the right-hand lane, and this other truck right here, this FCP trucker, he was giving me the stink eye. I could just feel it. I couldn't see anybody else in that truck, but I almost just ran right into the front of his truck, but I didn't. Okay, it's all right. Now we're on the road.
Forgive me. I'm applying eardrops into my 1-year-old's ears.
Hey, that's very important. How is your 1-year-old doing there? Are his ears okay, or is this just maintenance, or is this
He's not great. He's had a fever over 100 the past couple days.
Poor dude.
He's not going to daycare tomorrow.
Poor guy.
But the inside of his ears right now are a number of shades of green, and I'm colorblind, but there's a number of shades of green in there.
That doesn't seem natural. That doesn't seem like a healthy thing, which I guess is probably why you're applying the eardrops. So it sounds like you're making the best of a bad situation.
This is $100 worth of medication.
We're working on it. $100 of meds?
Yes.
I'm going to have to start trucking.
Just a little bottle. But the pharmacist was amazing, and found me in coupon, so I got it for $30.
Thank you, pharmacist. Sorry, this is not great audio.
No, this is terrific. I
don't know. Can you hear the whole family right now?
Yeah, and it's great. Again, this is Euro Truck Simulator. This is Euro Truck Slice of Life. This is Bean Games Trucking, 100% authentic, true to life. So.
All right. Well, I'm glad the whole family could participate.
This is. I mean, we are setting the bar so high right now. We're gonna get more and different guests on in future episodes, but they will have such a standard to live up to.
We didn't get any dog barking, and the 3-year-old is asleep. So,
hey,
there's more for next time.
Give it time too. Give it time. It's still early. The dogs could still bark. The 3-year-old could still wake up and suddenly be demanding juice boxes and fruit snacks. I mean, never say never. That's my motto.
these are all things that he would demand. And then I tell him, well, Uncle Dave is bringing 20 tons of apples, so.
Except we didn't take the apples, we took the tires. So I can bring him like some spare rubber strips to play with. Ooh.
I'm so fixated on the apples now. I feel like we made the wrong choice.
No, we made the right choice because we went with our gut. They were both very good paying jobs, and so you can't take food every time. Sometimes you gotta take the tires. Nothing wrong with that. I'm very Michelin strong in this game. I've actually got a Michelin Man coffee mug on my dashboard. So.
What?
Yeah, true story, right there. I'm looking. I mean, you can't see it, but yeah, along with my snack box and my duffel bag in my passenger seat. Yeah, I've got a honest to goodness Michelin Man mug on my dashboard. So yeah, if we're taking tires, I'm going to assume they're Michelin tires, and that's a pretty close second to taking food.
It would be Michelin tires. Do you not get to know who you're shipping tires for?
Well, it doesn't say like the brand of the tires. So when I pick up a delivery, it says like the company that I'm hauling the freight for, but it doesn't say like Michelin tires. I did make sure last episode when I upgraded my car tires to buy Michelin, because Michelin stands for quality.
Here's my worry.
Yeah.
You're running tires for some sort of underground operation. This is all black books kind of stuff.
Oh.
You know the name of the company you're doing tires for, but you don't know. Like, they didn't let you look in the boxes. These could be tank treads.
Do you think that maybe they're not actually tires at all? Like, is tires actually
a euphemism?
Oh, so I'm actually hauling like 16 tons of cocaine.
Yes.
That would explain why the job pays so well, I suppose.
That would explain.
Now I'm really concerned about getting on board this ferry to go back across the English Channel and back to the Netherlands, because I assume I'm going to go through customs, and it's still early enough in the playthrough of this game where I've gotten speeding tickets and I've gotten a few other kinds of tickets, but yeah, are they going to give me like smuggling tickets? Am I going to lose my license? Am I going to hit that yield sign? Yes, I am. I just took it down.
Well, now you're going to get a ticket, that's for sure.
Nope, there was nobody around. Nobody saw it, and I think I'm in the clear. Probably.
They have cameras on that one yield sign.
Yeah, I'm just that one. My truck was drawn like a magnet to it.
They just picked up. The cops just picked up 3,200 pounds of cocaine. I think it was cocaine in New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah, that's for real. That was the biggest bust of cocaine in history.
Where did they? Was it like warehoused? Was it in somebody's? Like, that's a lot of mattresses to store cocaine under. I can't even fathom a cocaine smuggling operation that big. They must have had some operation there.
I think it was like a shipping thing, like down at the docks kind of thing. It was in the New York area.
See,
now we're getting into The Wire.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing that I thought of, because that's basically what almost the entirety of The Wire season 2. I'm currently on season 4, but season 2 is all about that. Yeah, guys down on the docks. It's a stevedores union, and they're engaged in some light smuggling of drugs and cameras and sometimes Russian prostitutes, which is kind of where their whole operation goes.
Cameras?
Well, no, so they weren't smuggling cameras. It was more like some of the dock workers stole a shipment of, like, there was a, not pallet, but, like one big box of cameras, and they quote-unquote lost it. Lost it in the stacks. Like, oh, it just went missing. We don't know. And actually, they sold it on the black market to, like, a Greek pawn shop in town. So, but then they were also doing smuggling for some higher-ups in that Greek organization as well. So the Greeks were behind it all in Season 2. The Greeks were the big bad guys, no doubt.
Is this a sort of Greek tragedy situation? Was there a chorus narrating the events?
No, although I really wish that there had been. And now I kind of want to go back and watch season 2 again and like do a overdub.
Make your own cut.
Yeah, make my own. Maybe even just like a trailer of season 2, focusing on the Greeks and providing my own chorus track. This is a very busy roundabout that I just pulled up to. Like, I cannot merge into this traffic for the life of. Okay, there we go. We just got an opening.
All you needed to do was mention it. It's like you just had to speak it, enunciate it.
Right. Oh man, these roundabouts are confusing. We don't get nearly enough of these roundabouts in America to really get used to them. And
we have enough to confuse us.
Well, yeah, that's true. I did just pass a sign, like a sign on the side of the road that says, yep, there it is. I just passed a sign that said speed cameras, and sure enough, like 5 seconds later, I just got the notification pop up that, yep, I just got a speeding infraction. Oh, and now, oh, these roundabouts, I just cut a guy off. Oh, this is bad. Oh, we're in trouble here. You're
saying that Great Britain is, or the UK is like the next level. You're in a harder area now.
I am, yeah. Like I jumped to the like level 9 boss, and I was still only level 3. And boy, howdy, I was not. It's one of these very like open world games where you can go anywhere. It's like you can jump straight to the big bad guy, but he is going to absolutely destroy you. And that is what that's what the roads in Great Britain are doing to me.
That's kind of how I want the games to be. Like, don't give me a warning, or don't gate it off. Just let me go and fall on my face, or in this case, get a ticket. And then I'll go back.
Again, it's very true to real life. I mean, sometimes in real life, you get in way over your head, and then you pay the price. And I just paid the price on like a €480 speeding ticket, but that's okay. So we're pulling up into the port now, and I'm going to go board the ferry. And thankfully, it pretty much just fast travels you through it. But I got to make sure I.
You don't actually have to sit on the ferry.
No, I was very curious about that last time, but. Nope, I can just depart from Tyne and arrive into, I don't know how to pronounce this city in the Netherlands. It's like IJMUIDEN, IJMUIDEN.
I can't even spell it in my head.
Yeah, that's my best guess. €1,200 to cross the ferry.
I have ridden a ferry one time.
What? Tell me about that. What was that ferry like? Where was it?
It was in Seattle, or we were coming into Seattle from west of Seattle.
Okay.
So we were crossing the bay, I guess, and I was traveling on a promotional team for university. Mm-hmm. And so we had the van, and it was very boring. We waited and we pulled onto the thing, and then we got out and walked around, and then we left.
How long? Like, where was it originating from? I mean, I've never been to Seattle, so I don't know the geography. Was it just like across like a channel there, or not a channel? Like a bay or.
So this is going to get me into trouble because of all the geography fans and Washingtonites.
You still there? You kind of breaking up a little bit on me. Is your connection bugging out?
Oh, that was on my end. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
It sounded like Mario Game Over was happening.
Oh dear. We're really crossing our genres now.
So I'm sorry, that's copyrighted. I wasn't allowed to mention Mario.
Oh, that's okay. We'll bleep it out, or we'll call Charles Martinet and get his permission.
So Seattle. This is without looking at a map.
Okay.
And only having been there once, and never having really seen it on a map. I think you got Washington, and it's like the right side of Washington is more square. Mm-hmm. Then the left side of Washington that's on the water, the ocean.
Okay.
The ocean, we call it. It's like there's this little claw, and the bay comes in. So there's like it's not a peninsula because it's bigger than that, but the bay is there inside the claw, and Seattle is on the right side of the bay. So there's land. There's Seattle, and then you go west, and there's the bay, and then you go west, and there's more Washington State, and then you go west, and there's the ocean. I think is how it works.
Makes sense, and I completely believe it. And not ever having been there, and only having looked at it very, very briefly on a map, I kind of just picture Washington as like this, just like perfectly rectangular state at the upper left-hand corner of the continental lower 48. But obviously, that's not the case. So interesting. I never would have guessed though that they actually have like ferry services over parts of it.
Yeah, you gotta cross the bay, man.
Man, that's crazy. Was it how long did the ferry take? Like, was it a pretty short trip, or?
I'd say it was like 20 minutes, half an hour.
Okay, that's not bad.
And then we kind of got to see Seattle as we were coming into it. You could see the Space Needle and the other famous buildings in Seattle, of which I'm sure there are many.
Many of the best buildings. Yeah, I've taken the Staten Island ferry a couple times, and then the only time that I think I've been on a ferry like with a vehicle was again somewhere in New York, like it's not the Staten Island ferry. It's like it was like over in Port Jefferson Station area or somewhere, because that's where my aunt and uncle, who now live in North Carolina, used to live. And there was one time we were visiting there. I recall very few details of the trip, but I definitely recall, like driving on board, because like you drive down below decks with your car, and it's like a parking garage that floats, which is great. I mean, I don't even think we got out and walked around. Like, I think I just sat in the car the whole time, which is very weird. Like, you drive into a parking garage, and then you sit there for a while, and then when you drive out of the parking garage, you're like 30 miles away. And you're like, did I just teleport? This is... What witchcraft is this?
So, you didn't get to get out?
No.
You didn't get to look?
I don't think so. I think I was trying to like play games on my laptop in the back seat or something. So I was like, I don't care about looking at the ocean or the river or whatever it is we're crossing. Who needs to see that? Sense. I have video games to play. Story of our lives, let's be real.
That very much would have been me also at that stage of life. You still there?
Oh yeah. We are. We're only just a couple minutes away from our location here. We've made very good time, and
we have made good time.
We've made very good time. We're just about to pull into Rotterdam. Yeah, I mean we had no problems crossing the ferry. We've had no significant delays. The tire people, or I should say, the cocaine people, are going to be very, very happy with how quickly they get the shipment. I'm hoping for a nice bonus.
So, you are in the Netherlands now?
Yes, that is correct. I'm about to pull into the wonderful city of Rotterdam.
And you were in Dover? Where were you?
Carlisle. So sort of just in the upper left-hand corner of the UK. I'm still very much in the early stages of learning the nuts and bolts of my European geography, so I can only speak with sort of broad swaths. Yes, I was in the northwestern quadrant of the United Kingdom.
Okay. And you drove across, and then you took a ferry. Where did you take the ferry from?
I took the ferry from kind of the hold on, gotta make this turn.
Everybody has watched you do this, and
right, and they're also it's silently in the back of their heads, or perhaps out loud, judging me, saying, this guy knows how to drive a truck, but he's terrible at actually remembering where he's been. Because it's very true, as I've mentioned a few times before. Like, I can drive a place, but many times, unless I really focus, I don't remember how I got there. I just drove.
I get the feeling from watching the game, like, the signage is not great.
It is a little vague. That is true. And I haven't yet learned if different parts of the country are accurately, representational based on the different style of trees and grasses. I think to some extent, but again, I'm still a stranger in a strange land. I mean, I've only spent a very short amount of time here, so can I look at the map? Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at the map real quick here. Yeah. So I started in Carlisle, which is almost directly north of Liverpool. I have no sense of scale on this map.
Yeah, I see Liverpool on the map.
Yeah. So basically straight up the M6 from there, Carlisle. So I basically just drove due east to Newcastle upon Tyne, which is where the ferry leaves from. And then took the ferry almost directly southeast to a little that little town that we couldn't pronounce, which is basically right next to Amsterdam. And then from Amsterdam, just drove a little south, and here we are into Rotterdam.
Ijmuiden.
Oh, whoops. So another thing in Europe, they don't like it when you turn right on red. I just do that automatically, thinking it ain't no thing. There's no car coming, but nope. Got me with another ticket. Okay. We're gonna make this delivery. We're just gonna play it safe, which is kind of the easier parking gig here. So this shouldn't take terribly long.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
Hold on. I think, can I get on the first one? What are you... Oh, wait. Say it again? Ijmuiden. You just kind of slur it together. Ijmuiden. Do. Ijmuiden. This is very educational. This is great. Thank you for finding that. That really helps clarify a lot of questions that I had.
While you're there, you could stay at the Augusta Hotel or the Hotel Raw at the Quay.
That sounds very, very historical. Okay, can I stop my truck? There we go. Okay, cargo delivered. Let's see my rating for this. Hey, we got an excellent job rating on that.
Hey, all the cocaine is safe.
No damage bonus, so they didn't get me for hitting that yield sign. It was just under 200 kilometers of a delivery. We got just shy of 6,000 euros plus a proficiency bonus of 449. Nice little XP bonus. That was an excellent delivery. Well done. I couldn't have done it. Oh, and hey, look at that. We just leveled up to level 6. So I'm going to need you now to help me decide where to put my next skill point. Okay?
No problem.
So there are 6 skills that you can increase. All right? The ones that I've put points in so far are eco driving, right, which helps you save fuel. I'm already level 2 there. Long distance skill, which lengthens the deliveries that you can take. Right now I'm level 2 there as well. Just-in-time delivery, which lets you take jobs where you've got a much narrower time window. I'm level 1 there. And then the 3 that I haven't are fragile cargo, high-value cargo, and ADR, like, explosives and stuff. Flammable gases and whatnot. So, which one of those should I increase here?
So, if you get the ADR, that's going to get you, I think, deeper into this black market ring that you have entered now.
I like the way you think. Oh, and I can take any one of these. So ADR, it's not like I have to take level 1 and then 2 and then 3. I can take any of them. So class 1 is explosives. Class 2 is gases. Class 3 is flammable liquids. Class 4 is flammable solids. Class 6 is toxic and infectious substances. And Class 8 is corrosive substances.
Okay, you're going to want to save the bioterrorism for last. They're not going to trust you with that stuff right away.
Euro Truck Pandemic Simulator 2.
You've got to focus on the, I think, number 3.
Flammable liquids.
Yes.
Includes very common but also very dangerous fuels such as gasoline, diesel, or kerosene. Yeah, I don't see why not. I think that's a good call.
I was at such a loss. I was like, flammable liquid? What sort of liquids can you light on?
That doesn't make any sense. What are they talking about?
Gas. Yeah, gas makes sense.
Excellent. Oh, what did I just do there? Okay, let's... Now I'm just going to see what the next job I can take. Let's just see if there's anything right here at this freight depot I can pick up. And we'll see if I can keep you around for one more job before I let you go tend to your life simulator that you got there. Okay, so
real life family simulator.
Real life family simulator. What a tricky game. Okay,
so I just got.
Oh dear.
Not great.
I'm very sorry. Okay, so we got four choices for this next delivery. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, we can take a wind turbine tower, which weighs 19 tons. From Rotterdam, we can cross the ferry and go back into Great Britain and take it to Birmingham. I'm inclined to say let's not take the ferry this time. Let's. Okay, so really that gives us one option. We're going to take 22 tons of large tubes. You good with that?
I'm good with that.
From Rotterdam to Luxembourg for sand builders.
Sand builders?
Sand, like S-A-N. That's just like the name of the company that I'm doing the job for, apparently.
That's French for without, so it's like without builders. Builders without builders.
That's a builders without border? No, that's a thing. That's one of those unfortunate marketing names. Kind of like my favorite is I've always thought there probably is somewhere. Hold on, I got to attach this trailer. These things require concentration. If there was a hold on
12 13 12 11 red yellow Pikachu.
What do you
sorry, another copyright.
Yeah, sure enough, the cargo is definitely just like 3 giant large copper tubes. All right, hooked up, locked and loaded. Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate names. Like if there was a furniture line and they had a dining room set that was called the Notable Collection, would you buy it? Or would you assume that the dining room set had no table in the Notable?
Oh, dang.
Oh, yeah, see?
I wouldn't have if you had said it like that, but if I saw it on paper, I would say, get this is a bad name for a dining room set.
You're right, exactly. Oh, I just overshot this turn. Oh, okay, that was close. I haven't hit anything yet.
I wasn't even trying to distract you.
No, that was just me being a very bad driver, so not your fault at all. There is nothing quite as terror-wrenching, heart-wrenching, terror-inducing, one of those words, as not like getting your truck stuck somewhere like in a parking lot when you're about to jackknife on yourself. That's bad. But when you almost miss a turn and suddenly your truck is just out there in the middle of an intersection on display to the entire world at just how bad of a driver you are, it's like being naked in a public place. You know, like that's the only thing I can think that it must be like. Just that sort of, I'm sorry for my existence, please don't look at me.
Okay.
Yeah, I
believe that.
You're just gonna have to take my word for it.
I take your word for it.
Okay, let's take a left-hand turn here and not bump the car in front of me.
Now, here's what I don't get.
Yeah.
You're able to do flammable liquids now.
Mm-hmm.
You've earned the trust of the mob.
Right.
The Dutch mob.
The Dutch mob. I like that. That's good.
Now you're doing copper tubes for what's obviously a front.
Because of the name.
Builders.
Sand builders without builders.
Yeah. They're not actually builders. My only question, what are they doing with the copper tubes?
I don't. I mean, I'm very... 2 deliveries in a row now. Is this just coincidence, or do you really think that I mean, we're talking like a majority of the European trucking industry is actually a sham.
Maybe the trucking industry where you're transporting cylinders or round things with holes in them.
Oh, I see the trend there. I see the trend. Yeah, maybe so. I mean, these copper tubes look pretty thin. Like they're definitely hollow. I mean, you can. Oh, that's cool. I'm looking. Like I can look right through them. They nothing special about them whatsoever. So I don't know. Like unless. Yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. But honestly, I think maybe I'd prefer not to know. You know.
That's probably safest at this point, especially.
Plausible deniability is often our safest recourse.
Mm-hmm.
So I am good with that. Yeah. So you told us before about your ferry adventure, which was great. A question that I wanted to ask you, just in keeping with the spirit of this game, is because this is something that I talked about on a previous episode. What is the single longest road trip you've ever been on?
Oh man. Well, obviously the trip that I was on the ferry, that was kind of like a whole semester thing, and we went all the way from South Carolina and wrapped around the West Coast.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, yeah. So maybe take it back. What's the longest like single leg of a road trip? You know, so like what's the long? Because you know, I think on episode 2 or something, I talked about how my family drove from Florida to Vermont in a single like 25 hours nonstop, except for like food and pee breaks. Like non-stop, 25 straight hours on the road, which was. I
mean, you've got me beat there for sure.
Oh well, and I mean, it's certainly not a competition. So,
in college, my parents lived in Chicago, and I was living in South Carolina. So that was like a 13 hour drive, depending on stops, and I made that trip. Around 10 times.
Would you pretty much always do it straight through? I mean, you know, stopping for gas breaks and stuff, but you wouldn't like break that up into 2 days. Typically, you just go nonstop.
Yeah, no, yeah, all one.
That makes sense. You know, my college trips home were like 7 to 8. So, but I mean, even though, you know, those are full days, so yeah, 10 hours. But it's one of those things too. Like once you get used to it, you know, I guess it's not terribly bad, but
yeah,
still.
You know what to expect. The worst though was going back at Christmas. I think it was 2007 or 2008. I was coming in on Christmas Eve, and I was driving to Central Illinois. I wasn't going to Chicago, but it was a crazy blizzard. And it was Christmas Eve. I was coming in at night, and I was on the front end of this blizzard ahead of the plows. So I was driving, at one point when I was around Normal, Illinois, I was driving on like the 6-lane highway, just me, and you know, I could only ever see 2 or 3 other cars on the road, and the roads are just white, you know, like we're guessing where the lanes are, because we were in it as it was coming down, and the plows hadn't been out yet. Right. So that's it. That slowed the trip down considerably. That added an extra hour or 2.
Yeah. What kind of speed? Like, did you have to really slow down a ton, or I mean, if it was just snow and not ice, I guess it wouldn't be necessarily that dangerous, except for the whiteout conditions. You can't see the edges of the road that well.
It was really nice that I wasn't on like what would be a more typical Central Illinois road, like a 1 or 2 lane highway.
Oh yeah.
Because this was like a huge, really, I want to say it was like 4 or more lanes.
Okay.
On either side, plus shoulders. So
major.
That's why I think it's 6.
Major interstate.
Yeah. So there wasn't a lot of danger, but it was definitely it wasn't relaxing.
Yeah. Was it during the day or was it like at night?
It was at night. It was at night.
Yeah, dark. Yeah. That's I have distinct memories of one very specific end of a road trip. We were going up into Maine for a family vacation one summer, and the last leg of because my relatives who lived up in Maine kind of out sort of in this little town in the middle of nowhere. Like you had to drive. It was like an hour or two from the nearest city, I think, where we flew into. And so there was this one year we were driving in, and like we're in the backwoods of Maine. I mean, it's practically a dirt road in the middle of nowhere. It's midnight, the last leg of this journey. And like it was the worst storm. Like, I mean, just raining and wind, one of those real which is bad enough, on an interstate or a major road. But when you're in the backwoods of Maine on a little tiny 2-lane road that might be dirt or might not be, like I'm sitting in the back seat of the van and just distinctly remembering, like, is this when I die? Is this when
you get the wipers going as fast as possible? You still can't
makes no difference, and your headlights are cutting like maybe a foot into the. You're going at like 4 miles an hour, and you still feel completely powerless against the might of this storm.
Yeah, I've driven in that before. Well,
Yeah.
I've ridden in the car, which is more terrifying than driving.
Because you have even less power. Like you're truly
Right.
you're truly at the mercy of both the elements and the driver.
And Grandma Judy.
Oh, bless Grandma Judy. Thankfully, she was a good driver.
I don't think she watches YouTube.
We will remember her as someone who drove as best as she could, given the circumstances.
Still here to tell the tale. She did a fine job.
Hey, results speak for themselves. That's all we can go by.
Speaking of results, I think this Dutch mob is going to let you into the good stuff. They're going to let you in.
I'm very interested to track that here over the next, long term. I mean, it's one of those things I don't. Again, number one, first thing you learn about the Dutch mob is that you never talk about the Dutch mob, except with trusted allies. Yeah, except on the phone, because they don't tap phone lines in Europe. I hope. So that's okay. But yeah, so we never end. And rule number 2 is that you never assume it's the Dutch mob, but you always expect that it's the Dutch mob.
Trust
right?
but verify. Or,
yeah.
Maybe not that.
Verify, but...
Plan for the worst.
Yes, plan for the worst. Hope for the plan. No, we're mixing all of our advice now. But again, I think the biggest takeaway is that all the best advice in the world doesn't matter when you're at the whim of the Dutch mob. All you can do is be the best driver you can and try really hard not to tip the vehicle over. There's some construction going on here by the side of this road. Look at that.
They got construction in that game?
They got construction in this game. They're repaving a whole lane over there. That's fantastic. It's the little touches like that really make the difference.
Yeah, that's not a construction's not a rare thing, but it is still surprising to know that the game has that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just true to life, right? Like I think it's one of those things. If you were driving in this game for months on end, and then suddenly you were like, you know what? I've never seen construction. It would break the illusion. It would break the realistic nature of the simulator. But no, it's the little touches like that. It's the little touches like these massive power lines that I'm driving under. It's beautiful. There's just all these little things that really make you feel like you're out on the road. Marvelous.
Now, when it rains in the game, do you get the rain sound?
Oh yeah,
with the wipers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a whole big thing. Like the first time it rained, I couldn't remember how to turn on the wipers, and I'm frantically jabbing at buttons. But we figured it out. Everything was okay. But yeah, I mean, you get the rain. Your truck tires skid a little bit. Thankfully, that's one of the reasons why I upgraded to the better Michelin tires. Is because I wanted that little extra traction there. Because I have a tendency to take corners at about 20 kilometers per hour faster than I should. It's a bad habit.
Much too fast.
It's a bad habit.
You were worried about the virtual drivers behind you getting mad that you're going too slow.
I don't want to be a grandpa driver. You know, I just don't.
But isn't the whole thing supposed to be that it's relaxing, and you know you're not thinking about when the Dutch mob is going to kill you when they're done with you?
You are absolutely right, and that is something that I have to keep grounding myself each episode. Is that this is supposed to be a Zen experience. Like, yes, it's going to rain, and yes, people are going to tailgate me, and yes, the Dutch mob will probably send fleets of armored 18-wheelers equipped with rocket launchers to come after me. But in the midst of all that, I just have to breathe.
Just so I can get a clear picture, are the 18-wheelers themselves equipped with rocket launchers? Like, they just get behind you and it's a straight shot? Or is this a guy leaning out of the cab or leaning out of the what do you call it, trailer? Oh yeah, no. The rocket launchers are equipped on the 18-wheeler themselves. Yeah, like they're mounted. Yeah, like to the front bumper. So you can only shoot straight ahead. But that's one of the reasons why I sometimes also change lanes frequently and unexpectedly. Just in case. The other drivers around you love.
I have gotten significantly better at using my mirrors in this game, which are very helpful. Like that guy, I was like, okay, he's coming up, passing me on my left. Let's stay in my lane right now. That's.
Do you flash your lights so he knows it's safe to get in front of you?
That is no. I've got my blinker buttons down, but I don't know what my flasher button is.
Your high beams, your brights.
Well, let's see. So speaking of, okay, my lights are on. Well, I guess I can just kind of manually flash the lights like that. I'm not sure if there's a separate button for, like flashers. You know, like the big triangle button that sits in your car that you punch on if you're sitting on the side of the road because you've run out of gas.
Not the hazards.
Not the hazards?
No, if this only happened to me one time in my life, but okay. I was coming up, like passing a truck on the highway, and he flashed his brights at me, which I guess is like a signal, like, hey, there's enough space, you can get in front of me.
Right.
It's a dead art because nobody gives them enough space.
Right.
They just pull in front.
But that's like how they signal, either, go ahead, there's space, or sometimes if you let them merge in front of you, they'll flash those as like a thank you. Yeah, I don't know what that button is. I need to figure that out because that would be good. I would like to have a means of communicating with these other drivers on the road. Even though they're just probably soulless artificial intelligences. Intelligii?
Well, can you upgrade to carrier pigeons so you can send the pigeons out?
I mean, that might be way down the road. I haven't seen that yet. It may be like skill tree locked where I've got to unlock, level 4 corrosive acids before I can unlock the carrier pigeons. I don't know.
Of course.
I don't know. For as much of an open world as this game is, there could be, gates that I'm not even aware of yet. There's so much of this game.
Other worlds.
Yeah, like there could
that open up.
I'm fully open to exploring those, but this is definitely a game where I am not looking to do any kind of min-maxing. I'm just kind of along for the ride. Hang tight real quick. I've got to slow down on the freeway here and close a pop-up on my desktop that keeps coming up because I don't want to upgrade my virus protection. There we go. Okay, good. Got to remember to actually turn that off one of these days, but it was interfering with my GPS because it was overlaying on the game for some reason. That's unfortunate. It's okay, taken care of. Okay, we are almost to our delivery spot here.
How many side quests have you done?
None that I know of. I mean, there aren't really specific side quests. It's really just, pick up cargo at point A and deliver it at point B. I guess Do you
ever have to stop at the rest stop and go out into the forest and, kill some wolves and bring back 5 teeth?
You do have to stop at rest areas. I have done that because you do have a fatigue meter. You can only drive so long before you have to pull over to the side of the road in a rest area and sleep. So I have done that, but again, it was kind of like the ferry where it just kind of fast forwarded through, like, congratulations, you are now rested. So
you slept. Congratulations.
Yeah. So it didn't give me any mini games, like in Oregon Trail, where you have to like go off and go hunt the wolves.
You have to saw logs.
Right. No, it was just, I was hoping for some like quick time events for counting sheep to help you sleep better, but no, the game doesn't bog you down with things like that. It wants to just get you back out on the road as quick as possible.
Do you get leg cramps if you don't eat enough bananas?
I do, yes, that has happened a couple times while I've been playing this game. I can't say for sure if my driver in game feels that too, but I have certainly gotten leg cramps while playing this game. That is.
Well, he does have a snack box.
Yeah, so I can only assume that he always has bananas with him.
Okay, here's my last meta question.
Oh, before you do that, you can't see this, but you will later. I am pulling into sand builders. Like, it's a giant, construction site. Oh, this is. I wonder.
Construction.
I don't want to say that this is the headquarters of the. It really looks like it could be. I mean, there's all these shipping containers over here on the left. Those are all contraband. Okay, so let's just deliver. I don't want to look where I should.
Are they digging anywhere? Is there a dig site?
I mean, the whole place is dirt, so I don't see anything, but it could be behind these warehouses over here. This is a big complex, and I'm only seeing the front of it. All right.
Yeah, because it's a front.
Play it cool. I'm just gonna play it super cool. All right, what was your last meta question there?
Well, and this might be more important as I'm getting a little scared for your safety, but
it's okay.
Is the driver of the truck you, or is it a fictional character?
I'm not sure if we've thoroughly answered that within the meta narrative of how we're choosing to live inside this simulation. I believe we are. I believe my take is that yes, he is me. He is not a driver that is employed by me. That's something you can get down the road in the game where you can hire other drivers. But as far as I feel in my heart, yes, the driver is me. End of story. Full stop.
Okay. Then I just want to say, be safe. I don't trust these guys.
Safety first. Safety first above all else. Hey, we got an excellent rating delivering large tubes from Rotterdam to Luxembourg. All right.
Yes.
Nice proficiency bonus and a skill rank 2 long distance delivery bonus. That was a good job. We pulled in over 8,200 euros, and we're now almost halfway to level 7. What a fantastic! I'm telling you what, you're certainly my good luck charm here. That was 2 deliveries in a row, very little complications, only a couple minor dings on the truck, and 1 speeding ticket. So, man,
I'm just to remind you to be safe and not to drive anything.
You know what? You will even when you're not here on the call with me in the truck, you will always be that angel on my shoulder, telling me to be safe and to drive away from the mob, but not too quickly.
So who's the devil on your shoulder saying, "Don't be safe"?
Well, we haven't had Micah on yet, so my guess is that when we get Micah to call into our show here, one of our other primary Bean Bros here at Bean Games, he might be the devil. I don't want to speak too soon for him, and I don't want to plant the idea in his head when he watches this, but there may be some yin and yang there. I can only hope. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, man, thanks so much for giving up some of your evening. It's been a delight to have you here driving along with me. I know our viewers have enjoyed it too. And, man, I look forward to getting you back on here. We're definitely going to have to make this a semi-regular thing.
What a pleasure to drive across Europe with you. I'm so grateful.
It is just a joy. Well, thank you, man. Until next time, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys, that was fantastic, man. Just such a huge thanks and props to my good bean bro, Carrie Nelson, for coming on and providing some fine companionship while we delivered those wonderful copper tubes, if they were actually copper tubes. All right. Well, let's see what else we've got here. We're on a roll. We're doing just great here. Oh boy, we've got a couple more deliveries for Sand Builders. Well, no, I guess this is I'm still learning, how these layouts work, but it does kind of look like you can choose different trailer selections. Interesting. So I guess this is the origin and this is the delivery. We'll put all these pieces together over time. This narrative that we have now of the Dutch mom coming after us. Let's take some empty pallets here. We got a nice little longer drive. It looks like semi-long drive. Let's see if we can figure out where it is we're going to pick these up from. Go around these copper tubes that we just dropped off. Ooh, there's a tight curve. Okay, there we go. How is my driver doing right now? Our next rest stop in 4 hours and 58 minutes. Yeah, I may have to take a rest stop here on this delivery. Yeah, hey, so you've heard a lot of talking here the last since the start of the stream. Carrie and I just gabbing at it. Hopefully you enjoyed our conversating there. But time to get back to something that we didn't squeeze in last episode, because, hey, there's only so much you can do in a day's work when you're on the road, and that is play you some music. Definitely time to get back to, again, not the in-game radio, because copyright and all that, but I'm going to draw from YouTube's fine library of copyright-free and whatever allowable music. I did have a request for to get back to the classical roots. We had a nice, fun, jaunty tune last time we had music on during a delivery, but yeah, I really like the idea. Again, with this game, we want that zen, we want that nice, soothing, calming relaxation. I like the idea of getting back to some classical music and having a nice bit of soothing Bach or Mozart, maybe even some Chopin, whatever we find. I won't know until after the fact, but I think that's what we're going to do. So as we take this delivery out, we're going to cue up some music. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you at our destination as I drive into the grass. Okay. Now we're good. See you in a bit. And there we go. Another excellent delivery from Luxembourg to Dijon. They got me with a couple of speeding tickets. Once again, twice again, I suppose you could say. Accidentally got going a bit too fast. Some people have a lead foot. I have a lead finger on the W key here. That just makes me push it, pedal to the metal, and sometimes comes back to bite me. But hey, it was a good delivery. No damage. Nicely done. Nicely done. Well, let's see if we can take one more delivery here before our trucking day comes to a close. I think we've got time for one more. Let's see what's available here at Stokes. All right, we've got tomatoes and we've got vinegar. Both going to... my instinct was to say Geneve, but Geneve? There's an accent there. I'm not super educated on these trip times. Let's go tomatoes. Again, we haven't taken an actual food item this trip, and I feel like that's important to make sure we get at least one of those in. So let's take some tomatoes down to Geneve. All right. Let's see if we can just back right up here. Get ourselves hooked up. All right. And it looks like we're a go. Out we go. Back on the road. Hope you enjoyed that music we found for you there. Hope you found it calming and relaxing, kind of peaceful. That's what we're all about here on Trucker Fridays. Just having a good old drive. Make sure I don't make an illegal turn on red before, like I have been wont to do from time to time. We got the green light. Let's roll out. Have we been to Geneve before? I don't believe we have. I think this may be a new city. We'll have to take a look at the world map once we get there. It's probably where we'll end off this episode too, so we'll pick it up there again next time. I'm not taking too much of a specific... I have no real concrete plans this early in the game. Let's take these routes and really max out the cities that we do. You know, if I see a new city come up, I'll probably take a job to it. But in time, I think, as we try to really fill up that percentage of roads driven and cities seen, we may get a little more intentional. But for now, we'll go where the wind takes us and see where that leads. Oh, that was a stop sign. As I was approaching the intersection, I was like, I feel like there should be a stoplight here, but there's not. Yeah, that's because there was a stop sign that I didn't see. That was a close call. Almost probably could have gotten in a big wreck there, but we didn't. So, the trucker gods were smiling down upon us today, and all was well. I mentioned earlier that I'm currently on Season 4 of The Wire. I figure from time to time I might share here on a drive what I'm currently reading or watching or gaming, what other media I'm currently soaking up in my spare time. Let me tell you, The Wire is a great show if you have not watched it. This is my first time through. I'd heard about it before, but I just never gotten around to watching it. I tend to wait until shows are totally done. That way I can binge the entirety at my leisure and not have to wait. So this show, being some 15 years old now, quite done. But I'd consistently seen it ranked up there in top 5 TV shows of all time. And I said, well, that seems interesting. I knew it was about crime in Baltimore, in the city of Baltimore, with differing angles. Everything I read said it was a good show. It's a great show. It really is. brings in a whole lot of different angles. I'm just about halfway through season 4 right now, and every season has its own flavor. Season 1 primarily about the wiretapping, drugs on the streets of Baltimore, street level, drug gangs and drug pushers. And then each season kind of introduces a new slice of the city, I guess you could call, but then it keeps layering up these different stories and this really big ensemble cast. So season 1 is pretty much all about, the street level drug trade. You get to know a bunch of like low and mid-level players within these different gangs, and on the special crime unit in the police department that are tracking them down. And then season 2 gets into the docks of Baltimore, like the stevedores union and shipping and freight, and it brings in like a whole different storyline while also continuing several threads from season 1. A lot of the same players, still a lot of the drug trade, so it starts to kind of weave these narratives together. Season 3 then gets a little bit more into the politics, again on different levels, city councilmen and the mayor, and how they interact with the police force, who interacts with the drug trade, and you get to see all of these layers of the city, slices of the city pie, as it were, not always working together, sometimes fighting against each other, but how they all interact. And it's a very, from everything I've read, it's a very authentic show. You really get to know the characters. So by season 3 and then season 4, as season 4 introduces education, the school system, but again, you have by seasons 3 and 4, they're really getting good at these overlapping narratives. So you've got 4 or 5 storylines going on at once, but you've gotten to know all of these characters so well, it's no struggle to follow everything, and it's just a really well-written show. I'm greatly enjoying it. So it's obviously pretty dark in places, about crimes and homicide and drugs and police and dirty politics, and there are very few like true good guys and even true bad guys. Like the show is written in sort of a very gray area, which is one of the reasons people, I think, find it so authentic, is that you have an equal number of bad cops as you do guys in gangs who you say, well, these guys are victims of their circumstances, but I find less fault in them than I do in maybe this politician who's running for office and pulling a whole bunch of unethical strings. So it's a good show. A lot of people in the show that went on after The Wire to have bigger and better careers in TV and movies. There's at least half a dozen characters that I've seen that I'm like, oh yeah, I know you from this show or this video game or this movie, and here you are 10 years younger. Like a major character in several of the early seasons is Idris Elba. I'm like, oh yeah, this is 30-year-old Idris Elba as opposed to the 40 and 50-year-old version of Idris Elba that I'm more familiar with here in current times. Excuse me. Ooh. Coughing, it's driving me over to the wrong side of the road. Gotta remember to keep my trucker water bottle nearby for these long hauls. I'm sure I have one in my snack box. Well, I've got my coffee mug there. It's important to stay hydrated, both on the road and when you're talking, as much as I have been here. Oh man, look at this. That is quite a construction area. They've dug that whole thing up there. It also just seems to be self-policed. Like, that goes down to a one-lane road, and there's no signalman. What do you do if another car comes? Courtesy, I guess. But yeah, so I'm working my way through The Wire. What's after that? I'm not sure. There's a few other shows, kind of classic best of TV shows. I think on my big list of shows to get through at some point in the next few years is The Sopranos, Mad Men, possibly The West Wing. I have seen Breaking Bad, and I really want to go through it again, as well as Better Call Saul. But Better Call Saul, I'm going to have to wait until it's finished so then I can binge it safely and not... When I watched Breaking Bad for the first time, I binged... Like, I started it a month before the last half of the last season came out. And so, like, I was getting to it just as those last episodes dropped. And so I was able to not have to wait super long to see the final episodes, which would have killed me. Like, if I had had to wait a week between each episode, oh, it's just such a good show. And I'm such a binge person at heart, naturally, especially on TV shows like that. So at some point in the next few years, when Better Call Saul ends, which I understand is a great show and is having a great run, but I'm purposefully not reading too much about it. I want to be kind of blind. So when it looks like it's getting ready to wrap up, I may at that point do a rewatch of Breaking Bad and then Better Call Saul. But we'll see. Plenty of other shows to get to before then. And, I mean, goodness knows, it's been, 4 or 5 years now since I watched Breaking Bad. So by the time I finish all these other show series that I want to watch, maybe I'll want to rewatch The Wire and go through that again. I don't know. I'm not always a big rewatcher of series, but hey, if things are good enough, I mean, why not? If you feel so inclined. I sort of have that with a lot of video games, depending on how much I really enjoy them, and not even necessarily replayability factor, but like there are some stories, I just have to wait a few years for it to kind of reset, so even if I remember the story, I've lost like that newness of it. And the better the game, the quicker I want to go through it. There's several games already. BioShock Infinite, one of my favorite games of all time. I've played through twice. I'd love to play it through a third time. Both of the new Wolfensteins, the New Order, and the new Colossus. I just played those like just over a year ago. I'd already love to replay those. So, but then there's always so many new games coming out at the same time. And there's always Euro Truck Simulator. I mean, some things are just more important, right? Oh, we'll get to them all in time. Well, during that last drive, while we had the music playing, we took a little rest stop there, which was good because my guy's getting pretty tired. Took that rest stop just after the toll booth, and now it's just about time for me to get my rest stop for the night. Just about my bedtime. These guys gonna wait for me? Apparently they are. Thank you, sir. Just gonna drop off these tomatoes, and then we'll call it a day. Call it a night, as it were. Let's Play It Safe. I'm doing a lot of these Let's Play It Safe deliveries, and you know what? I have no regrets, because I just feel like we were really getting bogged down in some of those parking things earlier, and I don't want to get bogged down too much. Maybe we'll get back to it. But for now, these Let's Play It Safes, they let us get in, get out, drop off our cargo, and another excellent rating on the job. All right, I think that's 4 for 4 this episode with excellent job ratings. Really, really nice work, everybody. Got a cool 5,000 euros for that. We've crossed over into level 7. Look at that. Do we get another? Yeah, we get another level up. I'm all about that eco driving. We're gonna do that again. We really haven't had to refuel that too many times, and I don't know if the eco driving is helping with that or not. But hey, we're certainly protecting the environment as much as is possible while driving a big rig. Excuse me. Well, all right. I think we're going to call it there for the night. Another great episode. Again, special thanks to our Bean Bro, Carrie, for coming on and entertaining us there with some great stories and some great conversation. We'll definitely have some more guests on down the road. I got some other friends that I'd like to get on at various times. I think that'll provide a nice little variety. And just hearing me talk all the time, sometimes getting a different voice, is probably good for everyone's ears out there. So I'll keep you updated on those as we go. We'll see you again on Monday for Resident Evil. We'll keep slogging through that mansion as best we can and try hard not to die too many times. And guys, I hope you have a great weekend. Hope you got some great plans coming up, whether you're going out on some crazy adventure or if you're just staying home, laying in bed, eating Twizzlers and Cheetos and watching reruns of whatever strikes your fancy. I want you to enjoy it. Have yourself a good Saturday, a good Sunday, and we'll see you next time here on Bean Games.
Bean Games.